To think that astrology would answer every question that you may ask in your earthly life would, of course, be naive. And to believe that it could would be gullible. But astrology is the map by which we can find our way through life's maze of crossroads. Man has looked to the heavens since his beginning and has never failed to find there the signposts of life. As when traveling from city to city, we are offered many alternate routes. A road map helps us find the most direct and safest route for us to follow. Astrology provides us, through our horoscope, with the road map of our life. Now, let us view the map that leads us to the fortunes of Taurus. Taurus, the bull, is the second sign of the astrological zodiac. April 21st to May 20th. As a Taurus, your planetary ruler is Venus. Your sign is Earth. You are of a fixed nature, determined, stubborn. As Taurus, you have the brilliance and radiance that comes to you directly from the power of Venus. Determination and single-minded resolve are qualities that invariably lead you to success. Your bulldog nature allows you to overcome the most extreme problems and insurmountable obstacles. One drawback in your nature can in fact be your greatest quality, that of determination, as it can often lead you into excess in business and personal relationships. In your determination to succeed, you are, as your sign indicates, like a bull. With your head down, you charge straight and unerringly ahead, never looking to see what you have passed or missed along the way. Ulysses S. Grant was born under your sign, and his do-or-die attitudes are a matter of record. Because you are solid, reliable, and trustworthy, you function extremely well within conservative and traditional organizations. You have an extremely high regard for proven methods of operation. While you are at your best in a position of authority, you can also be depended upon to carry out orders or instructions to the letter. You are capable, though, of experimentation, although this is not an everyday occurrence for you. When you do, you are usually surprised by the results you have obtained. Strangely enough, this does not lead you to experiment all the more. You have an extremely high tolerance level. It would be a mistake, however, for people to believe that you cannot be reached. Your patience is one of your outstanding qualities, but when you lose it, you behave like one would expect a bull to react when he sees red. You can usually regain control rather quickly, but not until you have completely let off all your steam. It is during these periods that you usually send people flying in all directions. A word of caution. You must be aware of your temper and control it at all times. Although you do not intentionally hurt people, you can when in this highly agitated state. It is because of your aggressive nature that you sometimes lose sight as to just how sensitive some people can be. There is one area which is often misunderstood by those around you. That is, when it comes to personal possessions. Of the things you love most the things that are your own. You have a strong tendency to believe that you own people as well as objects. Nothing distresses you more than to find someone you thought was yours has a mind and a direction of their own. This should not be taken more seriously than it is intended. No one is more capable of unselfish help and guidance than you of the Taurus sign. You are often helping people with their financial and personal affairs. People gravitate to you, and if at first they are a little nervous, they soon accept your higher abilities. You are as quick of tongue as you are of action. Your planetary ruler being Venus, and your sign being Earth, gives you a combination that is truly embodied within your symbol of the bull. Greatness can be yours. You have the ability to achieve in areas where others have been afraid to venture forth. This should not be taken as meaning that success will come to you easily. The only way you will reach the top is by using your gifts and hard work. But for you, no other way would be acceptable. It is not unusual for Taurus people to inherit large sums of money and still work for the thing they desire most and achieve it by their own ability and determination. It is part of the Taurus nature to be fatalistic, although a greater number of you would deny it than admit it. It is because of this fatalistic attitude that you can walk in and start pushing toward your goal. You feel that it is perfectly understandable and natural that you do this. Remember, what is obvious to you is not always as obvious to those around you. Try and make those that you care for aware of this feeling. For people to be sympathetic to your desires and ambitions is vitally important to your well-being. A day for a Taurus does not run along the 9 to 5 lines. And so it is wise for you to have some creative or artistic outlet over and above your regular occupation or line of work. Taurus, determination in your case does pay off. But remember those around you. What has just been discussed are merely the broad and more general Taurus traits, and can be used as a rule of thumb by which to know yourself and understand your basic motives more clearly. But to further understand what truly motivates you, it is necessary to place you in one of the decans which divide your sign into 3 separate parts. Those of the sign of Taurus born between April 21st and April 30th are within the first decan. Those born between May 1st and May 10th are within the second decan. And those between May 11th and May 20th are within the third and final decan. If you were born in the first decan, April 21st to April 30th, you are more than likely the more stubborn and more difficult to reason with of any of your sign. This is partly to do with the influence on you by Aries. People that care for you and have the patience to attempt it must go to great lengths to persuade you to change your mind. Laziness is not what you could call a personality trait of Taurus people. But if it is to be found, it will usually be found within people of the first decan. Of course, laziness for a Taurus is what would be called not overly ambitious in some of the other signs. You can overcome any obstacle that you feel worthy of your attention. The second decan, May 1st through May 10th, has marked you as the most ambitious of your sign by far. Your powers of discrimination give you the ability to buy or make a purchase at a price that is most advantageous to you. There are those around you, however, that feel you are a little too careful with your money, to the point of being a shade on the stingy side. This does not mean that you would ever consider denying help or aid to a friend, but on the same hand, you have never been known to throw your money around in a casual manner. One of the most frequently misunderstood traits is that of your business decisions. You always maintain a sense of balance between friendship and business, leading some to suspect you of being a little cruel. As ambitious as you are not greedy, and so consequently will let certain business opportunities go by you if you feel you have had enough success for one day. Of the 3 decans, those of you born within the 3rd, May 11th to May 20th, are the most dogmatic and bullish, especially when you feel it is going to aid a friend, often attempting to force them into a decision that they do not seem ready to accept. You will do almost anything for someone of whom you are fond, providing you think it is good for you. You would lend them $1 million if you thought it would help them, but you would not lend a penny if you did not agree with their need of it. You are often exploited by people because of your genuine unselfishness, but you will only lose to a point. And when your barriers go up, you are almost impossible to reach. It would be a sorry day for a person to misinterpret this generosity as weakness. You have an iron will and are capable of exercising it with an iron fist. Taurus, you are determined and forceful. In that determination, look to Libra for a sense of balance, and there will be nothing in this life that will defeat you. It is only when you become stubborn to the point of failing to see the minor stops along the way to success that you fall short of your objective. Taurus, success is yours.
Taurus, in choosing a career, both Taurus men and women should look to something that would involve finances. You have an inherent ability to cope well with anything that involves the maneuvering of money. This does not mean that you are particularly adept at turning a fast dollar, but over the long run you have the ability and the patience for good, sound financial investment. In other words, when you handle money, it will be your natural tendency to invest in the long-term projects. You also function extremely well as purchasing agents, and any organization that is lucky enough to get you in this capacity will be making the best buys on the open market. It should be noted, however, that you are capable of making decisions that will prove to be unpopular with your associates. You tend to view the corporate structure as the master to be served, and very seldom ever consider a business decision on a personal basis. A bank provides for the Taurus person an outlet for this natural ability in financial areas. Taurus men and women both make excellent doctors, especially on the administrative or research level. The organization for which you should work can be either large or small, the single most important factor being whether or not you are in a position of authority. This does not mean that you cannot take orders. You can. But if an organization is to realize your highest potential, they will quickly move you through the ranks. Whatever career you follow within the boundaries discussed, perfection, sometimes to the point of excess, will always be your trademark. It is this perfection that will be noticed by your superiors and disliked by your subordinates. If and when you branch out on your own, which seems just to be a matter of time with those of the Taurus sign, there will be no one on your staff or that is associated with you that will work harder and more diligently than you. You must remember one thing, however, that your aims in life are not always going to be the aims of your secretary or stockroom boy. And because you are prepared to work far into the night, every night, be understanding when they do not show the same enthusiasm. When you are building your empire, you must remember there is a great difference between emperor and servant. As long as everything runs smoothly, you will probably be relatively easy to get along with. But it will be a sorry day for the head of a department that requires your personal attention to clear up a problem caused by inefficiency. A word of caution. Your determination, strength, and your bull-like qualities can carry you far in this world of commerce. But remember, the world is made up of people. In health, the single most important factor is your temper and moods. Providing these are watched and controls exercised, you should have a rather healthful life. But for you, it is going to be an uphill battle against high blood pressure caused by your temperamental flare-ups. If you are not very careful, you could have digestive or intestinal problems. Although you enjoy your food, you tend to gulp it, and you never rest after eating. The word of advice is simply relax. You may be susceptible to goiter, glandular swelling, laryngitis, and tonsillitis. In other words, your neck and throat should be watched at all times. Remember that 1 ounce of prevention will save you discomfort and money in the long run. You may need extra iodine in your diet. This can be caused by a lack of vitamins A and E. Apples, carrots, oranges, spinach, cucumber, and sweet-smelling spices should always be included in your diet. Remember, for you the road to health is very simple to follow, as far as the direction is concerned. As to actually traveling that road, it must be restated that by losing your temper and allowing yourself to get into a state of great agitation, you will only jeopardize your own well-being. Although it is good to let off steam from time to time, there are more advantageous methods of doing so, other than losing your temper to the point where control is impossible. A word of final advice. Beware of overeating. Because you have a tendency to eat fast and to gulp your food, you consume much more than your body requires. This can lead to obesity. Taurus should, as should all other signs, have regular medical checkups. This does wonders for your own peace of mind. In friendship, Taurus must guard against acting as judge. Your friends will come to you for advice and guidance, but if they choose not to take your advice, then you must remember that it is their prerogative. You make a loyal and reliable friend. But no one is more surprised by your outbursts than those closest to you, even though they may have seen it more than once. Certainly, a new friend will be struck speechless the first time he witnesses a Taurus tantrum. Remember, you have great patience Exercise it at all times. You will probably choose your friends from the sign of Virgo and Capricorn. Although you can make a good and lasting friend of someone from your own sign, providing you are going in the same direction. In marriage, your mate will probably not come from your own sign and will more than likely be chosen from the signs of Virgo or Capricorn. If you should choose Virgo, you will find that in most instances where patience is exercised, you will have no trouble in bringing them around to your way of thinking. Virgos are not dreamers, and this suits you just fine. And so to argue with Virgo or to lose your temper would really just put an unnecessary strain on yourself. In the case of Capricorn, however, there will be no need for you ever to argue. For the most part, he or she will be more than willing to help and assist you without your having to ask. In this partnership, there may be a lack of demonstrative affection, which you may find somewhat irritating. You may also be further annoyed by the pace at which they tend to move. Sex for you is something that you can take or leave depending on your mood. This more so than with other signs. You tend to feel that the energy you would consume can sometimes be used better in other areas. A Taurus mate is a loving, faithful, and reliable person, but totally ruled by what they see as the main purpose. In whatever you attempt, luck will play a natural role. While you are not the luckiest of all the signs, you are by no means unlucky. You can do much to aid your luck, such as being sure that certain colors are always to be found within your environment. While your moods are sometimes called blue, the colors most favorable to you are always blue. Blue for you will always be an aid to success. You are fortunate inasmuch as any shade of blue will have the same desired effects. If you are a betting person, which is not one of the prevailing traits of Taurus, you should most certainly take blue into consideration. As you have probably already found, yellow is not one of your favorable colors. The Taurus numbers are those of strength, these being 1, which signifies the supreme being, 5, the combination of the first female number 2 and the first masculine number 3. This, of course, is illustrated by your ability to function either as supreme leader or reliable officer. And finally, 8, the number of strength. Your numbers combined with your colors should offer you extra advantages wherever they are found together. You will find that projects started in October or December yield the best results, although at times the October projects offer you some unexpected challenges. This, of course, will in no way upset your plans. Mondays and Fridays could really be considered your best days. Mondays offer you the fresh challenge for the week ahead, and Friday gives you the challenge of your hobbies to be pursued over the weekend. You may find that Tuesdays do not always yield the most satisfactory results in financial matters. The jewel that best matches the brilliance you receive from Venus is the emerald, and should be worn whenever possible. Taurus, the worst that could be said of you is that you may be a little too ambitious, but you will have a long and strong life to correct any faults.
Your fortune is in the stars. Your horoscope can show you the way. But as in all things, you are the judge and the jury. You must make your own way through life and make the decisions that only you can make with any degree of total understanding. You are the leader, but the stars can be your guide. Your fortune awaits.